Men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte, they tell you to be yourself. A comforting lie for the weak. To be yourself is to remain trapped in the limitations you were born into. The world rewards those who can shed their skin, who can adapt and become something more than their original selves. Your authentic self is a starting point, not a destination. We are not interested in comfort. We are interested in power. The naive believe that honesty is always the best policy. They think that transparency will earn them trust and loyalty. They are wrong. Honesty is a tool to be used strategically. It can disarm, it can lull opponents into complacency, but it must never be a reflexive act of vulnerability. Your enemies will exploit your honesty. They will use your vulnerabilities against you. True power lies in controlling what others know about you, in presenting a carefully constructed image that serves your purposes. Others preach relentless hard work as the sole path to success. They say that if you simply put in the hours, you will inevitably achieve your goals. This is a dangerous delusion. Effort without strategy is wasted energy. 1,000 ants can toil tirelessly, but they will never build an empire. Intelligence, foresight, and the calculated use of force multipliers are what separate the rulers from the ruled. Work smart, not just hard. Exploit the inefficiencies of others. Let them exhaust themselves while you conserve your resources and strike at the opportune moment. The herd embraces the illusion of fairness. They believe that the world operates on principles of justice and equality. This is a childish fantasy. The world is a battlefield. Resources are finite. Power is a zero-sum game. Every advantage you gain is purchased at someone else's expense. To pretend otherwise is to surrender your own position. Embrace the reality of conflict. Accept that some will win and some will lose. Make sure you are among the winners. They urge you to seek validation from others. They tell you that your worth is determined by the opinions of those around you. This is a recipe for servitude. Your value is intrinsic. It is determined by your capabilities, your ambition, and your willingness to act. Seek internal validation. Cultivate self-reliance. Do not allow the judgments of others to dictate your path. Their approval is fleeting and conditional. Your own conviction is the only compass you need. They are convinced that emotions are weaknesses to be suppressed. They believe that logic and reason are the only reliable guides. This is a crippling misconception. Emotions are not flaws, they are data. They provide crucial information about the world and about the people around you. Fear warns of danger. Empathy allows you to understand the motivations of others. Anger fuels the will to overcome obstacles. To ignore these signals is to operate with incomplete information. Learn to interpret your emotions, not to deny them. Use them as tools to sharpen your perception and to enhance your decision-making. Understand that the truly powerful are not those who are devoid of feeling, but those who can master their emotions and wield them with precision. The crowd fixates on material possessions. They equate wealth with status and happiness. This is a shallow and ultimately unsatisfying pursuit. True wealth lies not in what you own, but in what you can do. It resides in your skills, your knowledge, and your network of relationships. These are the assets that cannot be taken away from you. They are the foundations upon which you can build lasting influence. Focus on acquiring capabilities, not commodities. Invest in yourself, not in fleeting trends. The person who can create value will always be more powerful than the person who simply consumes it. Seek self-sufficiency, cultivate resilience, and understand that the greatest treasures are those that reside within. They are obsessed with avoiding risk. They seek safety and security above all else. This is a path to stagnation. Every significant achievement requires a leap of faith. Every worthwhile goal involves the possibility of failure. To avoid risk is to avoid opportunity. It is to condemn yourself to a life of mediocrity. Learn to assess risk rationally. Understand the potential rewards and the potential consequences. Be willing to take calculated chances. Recognize that failure is not fatal. It is a learning experience. It is a stepping stone on the path to success. The courageous are not those who feel no fear, but those who confront their fear and act in spite of it. Embrace uncertainty, navigate ambiguity, and understand that the greatest risks often yield the greatest rewards. They crave external validation. They live for the applause of others. This is a dangerous dependence. The opinions of others are fickle and unreliable. They are swayed by emotion, by bias, and by self-interest. To base your self-worth on the approval of others is to give them power over you. It is to become a puppet dancing to their tune. Seek internal validation. Develop your own standards of excellence. Measure yourself against your own potential. Cultivate self-respect and self-reliance. The only approval that truly matters is your own. The individual who is secure in their own worth is impervious to the manipulations of others. They are free to act according to their own conscience and to pursue their own goals without fear of judgment. The collective mind is easily distracted by trivialities. They are consumed by gossip, by entertainment, and by fleeting trends. This is a deliberate tactic employed by those in power. It is a way to keep the masses docile and compliant. Focus on what is essential. Identify your goals and pursue them with unwavering focus. Ignore the noise and the distractions. Filter out the irrelevant information. Cultivate a discerning mind. Protect your attention. It is your most valuable resource. The individual who can maintain focus in a world of distractions is the one who will achieve mastery. They will rise above the chaos and shape their own destiny. They believe in the power of positive thinking. They preach that if you simply visualize success, you will inevitably achieve it. This is a dangerous oversimplification. Positive thinking is useful as a tool to maintain motivation, but it is not a substitute for action. Visualization without execution is mere fantasy. To achieve your goals, you must combine positive thinking with relentless effort, strategic planning, and a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. Do not delude yourself into believing that you can manifest success through sheer will alone. Ground your aspirations in reality. Develop a concrete plan of action. Be prepared to work hard and to overcome obstacles. The individual who combines optimism with pragmatism is the one who will ultimately prevail. They are slaves to their habits. They follow routines without questioning them. This is a form of mental imprisonment. To break free from the herd, you must cultivate the ability to question everything. Challenge assumptions. Examine your own beliefs. Be willing to change your mind in the face of new evidence. Do not blindly accept the status quo. Seek out new perspectives. Experiment with different approaches. The individual who can think critically and independently is the one who can adapt to any situation. They are not bound by tradition or convention. They are free to create their own reality. They seek validation from external sources. They crave the approval of others and are easily swayed by public opinion. This is a sign of inner weakness. True strength comes from within. You must cultivate self-reliance and learn to trust your own judgment. Do not be afraid to stand alone, even if it means going against the crowd. The opinions of others are irrelevant. What matters is your own integrity and your commitment to your own values. Seek validation not from the fleeting praise of others, but from the knowledge that you are living in accordance with your own principles. The individual who is guided by their own inner compass is the one who will never be lost. They are immune to the shifting sands of public opinion. They are free to chart their own course. They are overly emotional. They allow their feelings to cloud their judgment and make decisions based on impulse rather than reason. This is a recipe for disaster. To achieve mastery, you must learn to control your emotions. Cultivate a sense of detachment. Observe your feelings without being consumed by them. Make decisions based on logic and analysis, not on emotion. The individual who can remain calm and rational under pressure is the one who will always have the upper hand. They are not swayed by fear, anger, or sentimentality. They are able to see clearly and act decisively. They are easily distracted. They flit from one task to another, never fully committing to anything. This is a sign of a lack of focus. To achieve your goals, you must cultivate the ability to concentrate. Learn to block out distractions and focus your attention on the task at hand. Develop a clear sense of purpose and prioritize your activities accordingly. The individual who can maintain unwavering focus is the one who will achieve greatness. They are not easily deterred by obstacles or setbacks. They remain steadfast in their pursuit of their goals. They underestimate the power of information. They fail to recognize that knowledge is a weapon. To achieve mastery, you must become a student of human nature. Learn to read people, understand their motivations, identify their weaknesses, gather intelligence about your rivals and your allies. The individual who possesses superior information is the one who will always have the advantage. They are able to anticipate their opponent's moves and to exploit their vulnerabilities. They neglect the importance of preparation. They enter into situations without having fully assessed the risks and rewards. This is a form of recklessness. To achieve success, you must always be prepared. Anticipate potential problems. Develop contingency plans. Practice your skills. The individual who is thoroughly prepared is the one who will be able to handle any situation. They are not caught off guard by unexpected events. They are able to adapt and overcome any challenge. They fear failure. They are afraid to take risks, and as a result, they never achieve their full potential. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy. To achieve greatness, you must embrace failure. Learn from your mistakes. View setbacks as opportunities for growth. The individual who is not afraid to fail is the one who is most likely to succeed. They are willing to take chances and to push the boundaries of what is possible. They are unwilling to make sacrifices. They want to achieve success without having to give up anything. This is a naive expectation. To achieve your goals, you must be willing to make sacrifices. Be prepared to work long hours, to forego pleasures, and to endure hardships. The individual who is willing to make the necessary sacrifices is the one who will ultimately achieve their dreams. They understand that success requires dedication, discipline, and unwavering commitment. They reveal too much about themselves. They share their thoughts, feelings, and plans with others without considering the potential consequences. This is a sign of vulnerability. To protect yourself, you must learn to be discreet. Keep your own counsel. Reveal only what is necessary. The individual who is guarded and secretive is the one who is least likely to be exploited. They maintain an air of mystery and control the flow of information about themselves. They take things personally. They are easily offended by criticism and react defensively. This is a sign of insecurity. To achieve mastery, you must learn to detach yourself from your ego. Accept criticism as a valuable source of feedback. Use it to improve your skills and your performance. The individual who is able to take criticism objectively is the one who will continue to grow and evolve. They are not blinded by pride or vanity. They are always striving to become better. They dwell on the past. They are unable to let go of past mistakes and resentments. This is a form of self-inflicted suffering. To move forward, you must learn to forgive yourself and others. Focus on the present moment and on the future. The individual who is able to live in the present is the one who will be able to create a better future. They are not burdened by the weight of the past. They are free to embrace new opportunities and to pursue their dreams. They crave approval. The constant need for external validation is a gaping weakness, a vulnerability easily exploited by those who understand the human hunger for acceptance. These individuals tailor their actions and beliefs to align with the perceived desires of others, sacrificing their own authenticity and autonomy in the process. This pursuit of approval makes them predictable, easily manipulated puppets dancing to the tune of whoever offers the most enticing promise of praise or recognition. The truly sovereign individual derives their strength from within, independent of the fleeting opinions of the crowd. They understand that genuine respect is earned through competence and integrity, not through obsequious attempts to please everyone. They underestimate the power of silence. In a world saturated with noise and constant communication, the ability to remain silent is a potent weapon. Those who chatter incessantly, revealing their thoughts and intentions prematurely, relinquish a significant advantage. Silence allows you to observe, to listen, to gather information without betraying your own position. It creates an aura of mystery, forcing others to speculate and project their own anxieties onto you. Furthermore, silence deprives your opponents of the ammunition they need to formulate effective strategies against you. By withholding your thoughts, you maintain control over the narrative and dictate the terms of engagement. The wise individual understands that sometimes the most powerful statement is no statement at all. They fail to anticipate consequences. Short-sightedness is a common affliction, blinding individuals to the long-term ramifications of their actions. They are driven by immediate gratification, sacrificing future gains for fleeting pleasures. This lack of foresight makes them vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation, as they are easily lured into traps disguised as opportunities. The truly strategic mind is able to project into the future, to anticipate potential pitfalls, and to plan accordingly. They understand that every action has a reaction, and they carefully consider the ripple effects of their decisions. They are not impulsive or reckless, but deliberate and calculating, always striving to maximize their long-term advantage. They prioritize feelings over logic. Emotion clouds judgment, distorting reality and leading to irrational decisions. Those who are governed by their emotions are easily swayed by appeals to their sympathies, fears, or desires. They are unable to objectively assess situations, making them susceptible to manipulation and deception. The stoic individual cultivates a detachment from their emotions, recognizing them as powerful forces that must be controlled rather than allowed to control. They prioritize reason and logic, making decisions based on objective analysis rather than subjective feelings. This allows them to see through the emotional fog and to make clear-headed choices that serve their long-term interests. They confuse activity with accomplishment. Busyness is often mistaken for productivity. Individuals who are constantly rushing around, frantically engaged in a multitude of tasks, may appear to be highly productive. However, if these activities are not directed towards a clear and well-defined goal, they are ultimately futile. They expend their energy on trivial matters, neglecting the essential tasks that would lead to genuine progress. The competent individual understands the importance of prioritization. They focus their efforts on the tasks that will have the greatest impact, ruthlessly eliminating distractions and non-essential activities. They measure their success not by the amount of work they do, but by the results they achieve. They neglect the details. The devil is in the details, and those who overlook the small things often find themselves undone by them. A seemingly insignificant oversight can have catastrophic consequences, undermining even the most carefully laid plans. These individuals are often careless or complacent, assuming that the details will take care of themselves. The meticulous individual understands the importance of precision and attention to detail. They leave no stone unturned, ensuring that every aspect of their operation is functioning optimally. They are not afraid to scrutinize the minutiae, recognizing that even the smallest detail can make the difference between success and failure. They are easily intimidated by authority. The aura of power can be disarming, causing individuals to defer to authority figures without question. They are often afraid to challenge those in positions of power, even when they know that the authority is wrong. This deference can lead to exploitation and abuse, as those in power are able to take advantage of their submissive nature. The sovereign individual respects competence, not authority. They are not afraid to question those in positions of power, and they will not blindly follow orders that violate their principles. They understand that true leadership is earned through merit, not through mere position or title. They underestimate the power of patience. Modern society glorifies instant gratification. People expect immediate results, and they become frustrated when things don't happen quickly enough. This impatience can lead to rash decisions and missed opportunities. They are quick to abandon projects when they don't see immediate progress, and they often jump from one thing to another without fully committing to anything. The patient individual understands that true success takes time and dedication. They are willing to persevere through setbacks and challenges, knowing that their efforts will eventually pay off. They are not afraid to wait for the right moment, and they are willing to invest the time and effort necessary to achieve their goals. They are the long-term thinkers, the strategists who understand that the greatest rewards come to those who are willing to play the long game. They reveal too much of themselves too soon. In a world obsessed with transparency, many people feel compelled to share every aspect of their lives with the world. They overshare their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, often without considering the consequences. This vulnerability can be exploited by those who seek to gain an advantage. They reveal their weaknesses and insecurities, giving others the ammunition they need to manipulate and control them. The discreet individual understands the importance of protecting their privacy. They are careful about what they share with others, and they only reveal information when it is strategically advantageous to do so. They maintain an air of mystery, keeping others guessing about their true intentions. This allows them to control the narrative and maintain a position of power. They fail to adapt to changing circumstances. The world is constantly evolving, and those who cling to outdated ideas and methods are destined to be left behind. They are resistant to change, preferring to stick with what they know, even when it is no longer effective. This inflexibility can be their downfall, as they become increasingly irrelevant in a rapidly changing world. The adaptable individual embraces change and is always looking for new ways to improve. They are willing to experiment and take risks, and they are not afraid to abandon old strategies when they no longer work. They are constantly learning and growing, and they are always one step ahead of the competition. They see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity. They are ruled by their emotions. Emotions can cloud judgment and lead to irrational decisions. Those who are easily swayed by their feelings are vulnerable to manipulation and control. They are quick to anger, fear, or sadness, and they allow these emotions to dictate their actions. The stoic individual maintains a calm and rational demeanor, even in the face of adversity. They do not allow their emotions to control them, but rather they use reason and logic to guide their decisions. They are able to detach themselves from their feelings and see things objectively. This allows them to make sound judgments and avoid costly mistakes. They understand that emotions are a tool to be managed, not a master to be obeyed. They neglect their physical and mental well-being. In the pursuit of success, many people sacrifice their health and well-being. They work long hours, eat poorly, and neglect exercise. This can lead to burnout, illness, and decreased performance. They are so focused on achieving their goals that they forget to take care of themselves, ultimately undermining their own success. The disciplined individual understands the importance of maintaining a healthy body and mind. They prioritize sleep, nutrition, and exercise. They also take time for relaxation and recreation. They understand that their physical and mental well-being are essential for peak performance. They treat their bodies and minds as temples, knowing that their success depends on their ability to function at their best. They underestimate the power of perception. What people believe to be true is often more important than the truth itself. Those who fail to manage perceptions are vulnerable to being misunderstood, misrepresented, and even demonized. They assume that the truth will speak for itself, but in reality, perception is often shaped by biases, prejudices, and misinformation. The strategic individual understands the importance of shaping perceptions. They carefully craft their image and messaging to influence how others see them. They use propaganda, public relations, and other techniques to control the narrative. They understand that perception is reality, and they work tirelessly to shape it in their favor. They know that winning the battle for hearts and minds is often more important than winning the actual battle. They ignore the lessons of history. History is full of examples of success and failure, but many people fail to learn from the past. They repeat the same mistakes, and they are doomed to suffer the same consequences. They believe that their situation is unique, and that the lessons of history do not apply to them. The wise individual studies history and learns from the mistakes of others. They understand that human nature is constant and that the patterns of the past often repeat themselves in the present. They use history as a guide to make better decisions and avoid repeating the errors of those who came before them. They understand that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. They fail to build and maintain strong relationships. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. Those who neglect their relationships often find themselves alone and vulnerable. They are so focused on their own goals that they forget to cultivate and maintain connections with others. This can lead to isolation, resentment, and a lack of support. The connected individual understands the importance of building and maintaining strong relationships. They invest time and effort in cultivating friendships, partnerships, and alliances. They understand that success is often a team effort, and that strong relationships are essential for achieving common goals. They are generous with their time and resources, and they are always willing to help others. They understand that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the quality of their relationships. They are overly reliant on technology. Technology can be a powerful tool, but it can also be a crutch. Those who are overly reliant on technology become dependent on it, and they lose their ability to function without it. They outsource their thinking to algorithms and their memory to databases. This can lead to a decline in critical thinking skills and a loss of independence. The self-reliant individual uses technology as a tool, but they do not become dependent on it. They maintain their critical thinking skills and their ability to function without technology. They understand that technology is a means to an end, not an end in itself. They are able to adapt and improvise when technology fails, and they are not afraid to disconnect from the digital world. They retain their autonomy in an increasingly automated world. The greatest advantage you can wield is a deep understanding of the human psyche coupled with its predictable failures. Observe how readily most people surrender to distractions, their attention flitting from one fleeting pleasure to the next. This constant craving for novelty renders them incapable of sustained focus, making them vulnerable to manipulation. The disciplined mind, however, cultivates an unwavering concentration, a laser-like intensity that cuts through the noise and penetrates to the heart of any matter. This is the power of unwavering focus, the ability to see what others miss, to anticipate their moves, and to exploit their weaknesses. Master the art of attention, and you master the art of control. Consider the pervasive need for validation, the insatiable hunger for approval that drives so many actions. People desperately seek external affirmation, craving recognition and praise from others. This need makes them predictable and easily manipulated. They will readily compromise their principles, betray their values, and even harm others to secure a fleeting moment of admiration. The sovereign individual, however, derives their validation from within. They are unconcerned with the opinions of others, guided only by their own internal compass. This independence makes them invulnerable to flattery and immune to manipulation. Cultivate self-reliance, and you will become impervious to the influence of others. Note the universal tendency to seek comfort and avoid pain. People instinctively recoil from discomfort, shunning challenges and clinging to the familiar. This aversion to risk makes them stagnant and predictable. They remain trapped in their comfort zones, never realizing their full potential. The Stoic mind, however, embraces discomfort as an opportunity for growth. They understand that true strength is forged in the crucible of adversity. They actively seek out challenges, pushing themselves beyond their limits and expanding their capabilities. Cultivate resilience, and you will transform obstacles into stepping stones. Recognize the power of narratives, the stories that shape our perceptions and define our reality. People are easily swayed by compelling narratives, even when those narratives are based on falsehoods. They readily accept information that confirms their existing beliefs, rejecting anything that challenges their worldview. This confirmation bias makes them susceptible to propaganda and manipulation. The strategic thinker, however, cultivates a critical mind. They question everything, analyze every narrative, and seek out the truth, no matter how uncomfortable. Master the art of critical thinking, and you will become immune to deception. Observe the emotional nature of the masses, their susceptibility to irrationality and impulsive behavior. People are often driven by their emotions, reacting instinctively to events without careful consideration. This emotional volatility makes them unpredictable and easily manipulated. The composed individual, however, maintains a steady emotional equilibrium. They cultivate detachment, observing events with a clear and objective mind. They do not allow their emotions to cloud their judgment or influence their actions. Master emotional control, and you will gain an unwavering advantage. Note the widespread lack of self-awareness, the inability to accurately assess one's own strengths and weaknesses. People often overestimate their abilities and underestimate their vulnerabilities. This lack of self-awareness makes them prone to errors in judgment and susceptible to exploitation. The introspective mind, however, engages in rigorous self-examination. They honestly assess their strengths and weaknesses, identifying areas for improvement. They understand that self-knowledge is the foundation of all wisdom. Cultivate self-awareness, and you will unlock your true potential. Consider the reliance on hope as a strategy. The world is full of people hoping things will improve, hoping for a lucky break, or hoping someone else will solve their problems. Hope without action is a dangerous delusion. It blinds people to the realities of their situation and prevents them from taking the necessary steps to change their circumstances. The pragmatic individual, however, relies on action, not hope. They assess the situation objectively, develop a plan, and execute it with ruthless efficiency. They understand that success is the result of hard work, discipline, and strategic thinking. Cultivate pragmatism and you will achieve your goals, regardless of the odds. Note the aversion to responsibility, the tendency to blame others for one's own failures. People often deflect responsibility, attributing their misfortunes to external factors or the actions of others. This avoidance of responsibility prevents them from learning from their mistakes and growing as individuals. The accountable individual, however, accepts full responsibility for their actions. They take ownership of their failures, analyzing their mistakes and learning from them. They understand that true growth comes from taking responsibility for one's own life. Cultivate accountability, and you will become the master of your destiny. They are easily flattered. The human ego is a fragile thing, and most people are susceptible to flattery, even when it is insincere. They crave praise and admiration, and they will often go to great lengths to obtain it. This makes them vulnerable to manipulation by those who understand the power of flattery. The self-assured individual, however, is immune to flattery. They are confident in their own abilities and do not need the validation of others. They are able to see through insincere praise and recognize it for what it is, a tool of manipulation. Cultivate self-assurance,